I'm Scott Brady with Overland Journal and Expedition Portal, and I'm out here with the new Chevrolet ZR2. So we're heading into Brady Canyon here on our way up to Joshua Tree National Park. It's been almost 20 years since I've done this trail, and this is a much bigger vehicle than I did it in the last time. So a lot more modern and a whole lot more powerful. When you really start to get a sense for these Multimatic shocks, it just allows you to keep the vehicle very composed. The truck's also responding really well to trail braking. The rear end isn't stepping out as much as you would typically find with a beam axle on a leaf spring. And a lot of that is because of these Multimatic shocks. So the vehicle is staying very accurate on the inputs. And turn-in was good without a lot of braking, but turn-in is excellent with some braking. So you can really get the vehicle to set up nicely for a corner by giving it a little bit of trail braking right before you get into the event. And then the truck is also responding well to steering input. So if we've got a larger off-center hole, just give a little bit of steering input to lighten that side of the vehicle. And overall, controllability is excellent. A lot of driver confidence, considering that this is a stock vehicle. All right, so we're about ready to go up Locker Hill here. So I've engaged 4 low. This is a part-time transfer case, so you shift into neutral and then 4 low and then back into drive. It does have a low gear option as well. So by going into low instead of drive, it puts me into first gear and it'll hold me in first gear. And then because these are driver selectable locking differentials, I went ahead and locked the rear as I approached the hill. And then after I make this turn here, then I'm going to go ahead and lock the front so that I'm ready to climb the obstacle. Just went up the Locker Hill, as one would expect. Very easy to do when you have front and rear differentials locked. And now we're about ready to go down another descent here. So again, we're doing left foot braking. Even on a descent, we want to have the rear locking differential engaged because we do lift a tire. So we don't want the vehicle to run through the hole because it has an open diff. So we want to keep the rear locked on a descent like this. There would never be a reason to have the front locked in a descent like this unless you needed traction to overcome a rock or something during the descent. But we want to maintain maximum steering control. We don't want the vehicle to understeer or to push during a descent, which could result in the rear end coming around on you. All right, let's go through pros and cons in this new ZR2. The standout pros for me is the front and rear locking differential. These are driver selectable, make a huge difference in low speed performance, makes this vehicle one of the most capable half-ton trucks available today. The other thing that I really like about this vehicle is the Multimatic suspension. It is excellent at speed. You don't end up with a super wide kind of desert only intended truck. You end up with a trail vehicle that also performs well at speed in addition. Overall, I think that that's the thing that stands out most about this truck is that it is this perfect compromise between comfort, capability, and overall utility. So it's not this high-speed only solution. It kind of does it all really well. Now let's get into cons. For me, I own an AT4 GMC with a 3-liter turbo diesel, and that engine is absolutely wonderful in a half-ton pickup. I would love to see that diesel, that 3-liter diesel, available in the ZR2. It's not currently available, but I think that'll make it a winner. So I see that as kind of a con that you can't specify it with that turbo diesel. The other con that I would note as well is that you cannot engage the rear locking differential when you are traveling at speed. So if you wanted to be in two-wheel drive, kind of high speed, use the rear locking differential to give you a little bit more rotation, controllability, encourage the vehicle to step out. It won't do that. It's only available at low speed, but it can be in any transfer case setting at low speed. You can lock the rear diff. So like a boat ramp, you can turn it on, but it's not available at speed. But overall, there's really not much to not like about this vehicle. It is incredibly stable at speed on the dirt, very comfortable to drive on the highway. But you also notice that it is lower on the payload scale as well. So this comes in at just under 1,400 pounds of payload, which is what you can find in a lot of mid-sized trucks. So I think full-size trucks need to be at a minimum at that 16 to 1800 pound capacity. Now this is a fully equipped vehicle. It's got a lot of accessories. It's got a lot of modifications to it from the factory. But as overland travelers, we really need to get into that 16 to 1800 pounds in a half-ton truck to make them perfectly suitable for overland travel.